boys and girls. My name is Miss Pam, and I am here with a book to share with you today. I want to talk for a minute about the word mighty. When you think about the word mighty, I think you probably think about power. And that's what this story is about, like who really is most powerful and how God wants us to handle that in our daily lives. My book is called The Mightiest. It was written by Keiko, Kasza, and it was published by G.P. Putnam's Sons. Deep in the quiet woods, there was a golden crown sitting on a rock. One day, 3 animals discovered the crown. "Finders keepers," yelled the bear. "That's mine." "No way," said the elephant. "I saw it first." "Wait, guys," said the lion. "Something is written there on the rock. It says, 'For the mightiest.'" "Well then," said the lion, grabbing the crown, "this is obviously mine." "No, it's not," said the bear. "I'm the mightiest." "Step aside," said the elephant, "and give me my crown." On and on the animals argued. Suddenly, off in the distance, the lion saw a tiny old woman walking toward them. "Listen," he whispered. "Let's settle this once and for all. Each of us will try to scare that old lady. Whoever scares her the most wins the crown." "Sounds fair," the others agreed. So they hid behind the bushes and waited anxiously for the tiny old woman to come near. When she finally reached the bushes, the lion jumped up. "Roar!" "Oh my!" cried the tiny old woman. "You scared the daylights out of me." Then the bear jumped up. "Grrr!" "Oh my!" cried the tiny old woman. "You scared the daylights out of me." Finally, it was the elephant's turn. He sucked in the air and baroo! "Oh my!" cried the tiny old woman. "You scared the daylights out of me." There was no way of knowing who had scared the tiny old woman the most. Do you see her hiding behind the tree? And the animals are all pulling and tugging on the crown, claiming it for their own. "My roar made her jump," boasted the lion. "My grrr had her shaking in her boots," growled the bear. "My baroo blew her away," shouted the elephant. They were so busy arguing, they didn't notice that they had company. Did you see this very large hand? Suddenly, an enormous giant towered over them. "Well, roar, grrr, and baroo on you," he yelled. "I happen to be the biggest, the baddest, and the mightiest giant in the world. Now, give me that crown." With the crown on his head, the giant scooped up the 3 animals. Now, can you imagine being large enough to carry an elephant tucked under one arm and a lion and a bear under the other? "To prove that I'm the mightiest," bellowed the giant, "I think I'll drop you off a cliff." "Help! Someone help us!" wailed the animals. But who could help them now? Just then, a high voice screeched, "George!" The giant jumped in the air, dropped the three animals and fell to the ground. There, standing in front of the biggest, the baddest, and the mightiest giant in the world was none other than the tiny old woman. She was scaring the daylights out of him. "George," she yelled, "how many times have I told you not to pick on poor, helpless creatures?" Lots of times, Mama," whimpered the giant. "I won't do it again. Honest, Mama, I promise." "Good, George," said the woman. "I'm glad to hear that." The animals couldn't believe their eyes. They snatched the crown away from the giant and presented it to the tiny old woman. "Surely and positively," said the lion. "Without a doubt," said the bear. "This belongs to you, ma'am," said the elephant. "Oh my," cried the tiny old woman. "How flattering." "But," said the woman, "I don't really need this. Let's put it back where you found it." "Put it back?" they asked her. "Yes," said the tiny old woman. "I have my little hat, and that's enough for me." George and the animals looked at her with admiration. The mightiest didn't need a crown after all. As soon as they left, the woods became quiet again. The golden crown sat peacefully on its rock, just like before. But not for long. Do you see these animals? Do you think maybe they're going to have the same argument over that crown? I think perhaps they will. This is a circle story that brought us right back to the same situation we started with. And I just want to talk to you for a minute about what God wants. Does God want us trying to tell people that we're the mightiest and the most powerful? No, he doesn't. He wants us to be humble, and he wants us to acknowledge that he is the only one who's all-powerful, all-knowing, all-seeing, and he's the only one who deserves our praise for that. And he doesn't want us to be boastful. Boys and girls, I hope you enjoyed my story today. We miss you. Your church family loves you. Bye now.